All right. We live. We are live. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know. We about to get started. Listen, y'all, I'm super excited. As usual, I'm super excited. Let me know if you can hear me so we can grow, so we can roll. How's everybody doing tonight? How is everybody doing? Talk to me. Talk to me. I need to see you in the comments. I'm in the comments. How's everybody doing? Yeah, this is our fourth week. This is our fourth week of our series. It's the fourth week of our series, This Way. And we about to wrap this thing up tonight, y'all. We are about to wrap this thing up and let Pastor get back to it. We're going to let Pastor get back to it, y'all. But as you come in, please don't forget to share. Please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, all those things before we get started on this fourth week. Yeah, let me feel your presence. Start smashing the like button, the heart button, something. Let me feel your presence. This the last week, y'all. We basically done with this month. This month is almost over. You know, we moving into October. We in the fall now. Let me feel your presence let me feel your presence. Okay, Sister Dwelling said, let's go. Sister Dwelling said, let's go. So we got to roll. Listen, y'all. This week. Like I said, it's the last week of our 4-week series, This Way. And this week, the subject is to be this way. So we're gonna pray real quick, and then we're gonna do a quick recap, and then we're gonna jump right into it. Father God, I thank you. I appreciate you. I love you for allowing us to get here in sound mind. Even though we're not in person, God, we just thank you for allowing us to tune in. And God, I just ask that you remove me and allow your people to be fed, allow your people to be blessed. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, let's do a real quick recap for those of y'all who didn't catch it from week 1. I know that we got some people, we got some new people on here. We got some people who missed last week and maybe even the week before. So let's go into that real quick. So week 1, y'all, we broke down dependency, right? Walk this way. We were talking about how we should walk, the kingdom walk, right? We talked about dependency. We talked about walking hand in hand with God. See, a lot of times, for myself personally, right, I've been on this walk and I've said, like, I want to do this for God, right? I want to make God proud. Like, I want to do these things for God. The community service, I want to do that for God. The service at the church, like, I want to do that for God. But there was a shift that happened from where I was saying I want to do it for God to when I said I'm doing this with God. And that was the walk. That was what God showed me how to walk, right? The dependency model. The next week, we went into talk this way, right? And we broke down how, as kingdom members, how we should be talking. Third week, we broke down think this way, right? How we should think. We talked about Moses and the burning bush and how God transferred his confidence to Moses. If you didn't catch that, you got to go back last week and catch that, because that one, listen, y'all, I'm not going to lie. I'm not even going to lie. That one might have been fire. I'm not even going to lie. This week, y'all, be this way. Let's jump right into it. So we're going to start in Genesis this week, right? We're going to start in Genesis. We're going to take it all the way back to the beginning, right? We're going to start from the beginning. Genesis 1:27 through 28. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon earth. All right, that's a mouthful, y'all. I'm going to be honest. Now, I want to give y'all a disclaimer as we hop into this. I want to give you a little disclaimer. We're going to be principle heavy tonight, right? Principle heavy. Because there is so much just in that one text. Like there's literally 3 principles that I see just off the top, right? So we going principle heavy tonight. But I want y'all to understand something as we look at this text, right? I want y'all to understand that the life that we have now was not the life that God intended. Let me say this again. The life that we have now, the earth that we're experiencing now, right? It matters how your perspective is. Some may say it's good. Some may say it's bad. Whatever's going on, none of that even matters. The world that we live in right now, God never intended for it to be there. Now, here's the beautiful thing about God. Even though God did not intend for it to be that way, he still made a way through all of that. Let me say that again. Even though God did not intend it, he gave us free will. He allowed us to be free. God knew that we was going to make some mistakes. God knew that we was going to jack it up. God knew it. So he already had some things in place to counter that, right? He already had some things in place to counter that. But it's very important that we understand that God never intended for things to be this way. Some of us, we've been through things in life and we wonder, why did this happen to me? Right? Like, why did I get sick? Why did I lose a child? Why did these things happen to me? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have a complete answer for you with that. But I can tell you this: God never intended that for you. God never intended us to hurt. God never intended us to be sick. God never intended us for us to suffer. These things God never intended to happen. These things entered the world after sin. But in the beginning, God gave us 3 commands to live by. These are actually the first words that God spoke to the human race. Right here. These are the very first words. Like this first verse. So God created man in his own image. And in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them, right? And God blessed them and said unto them, these are the very first things that God told me. So check this out. When I was a little bit younger, I'm 29 now, I'm probably about 23, 24. I started going on like this deeper walk with God, right? I started going into the relationship with God. Like I knew religion before. I can't say that I had a real relationship with God until I was maybe 22, 23, right? And the reason why I didn't have a super good relationship with God at that point in my life is because I felt like I couldn't live up to anything that God wanted me to do. Like when I was reading the Bible, when I was going to church and I was hearing like the 10 Commandments and I'm hearing some of these stories and I'm hearing about sinful nature, I'm hearing all these things and I'm like, God, I'm screwed. Like, I'm done for. Like, I might as well just go on to hell right now because like, I can't live up to any of this stuff. Like, I'm sinful. I know that, right? I felt like I couldn't live up to any of that. And then I had a mentor who literally steered me in the right direction. He said, Destry, God never intended for those things. Those rules, those regulations, all those different things came into play after we messed it up. God actually, the first commands that God gave us was be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion. Those were the first things God told us. Though, literally, listen to what I'm saying. Listen, hear me. That's the way that God intended us for us to live. Now, later down the line, because of sin, right? We know the story, Adam and Eve, because of sin entered the world, then God had to give us rules and regulations. So it's almost like when you have a child, right? You set boundaries for that child. You don't necessarily know the rules in place. You don't put rules in place like when they're very small children, right? You put boundaries in place. But as they grow up and they start stretching and pressing those boundaries, then you set rules. That's where rules and regulations come into play. Rules and regulations is not just the way that you would parent just off the top. You set boundaries, those kids, they press those boundaries, and then after that, you set rules and regulations. And that's exactly what happened in the Bible. God gave us this land. He said, listen, all of this is yours. Be fruitful, and we're going to break that down in a minute. Multiply and have dominion. Now, somebody's saying to themselves like, Destry, okay, I get what you're saying, but doesn't that only apply to like having children, right? Because I've heard that broken down before. And we're going to get into that, but I'm telling you right now that what I've learned from the Bible, right, what I've learned from my personal study time is that these principles don't only apply in just one area. Now you can say, okay, but he was talking about this. Like God was saying, well, I want you to fill the earth with children, with things. I get all that. I get all that. We gonna get there. I promise you, we gonna get there. I get it. But if we look at this just from the principle itself, we will understand that this is the way that things were intended to be. Right? So we're going to go into number one, be fruitful. What does it mean to be fruitful? Producing good or helpful results, being productive. That's what that means, right? To be fruitful. It means to produce good, helpful results, being productive, right? Being productive. So God is saying to us, listen, I put you on this planet. I gave you the gift. We talked about that last week. I gave you those things. I gave you that gift so that way you can produce something on this planet, right? So you can produce something. Now, some of us may not think like, God, what could I possibly produce? Like, what do I have to produce? Now, listen, that's going to come with you and your personal walk with God. I don't know what specifically God wants you to produce, right? I don't know specifically, but I do know that God wants us to produce. Number one, I know this because God says we were created in his image and God is a creator. Okay, we can just start there, right? God was the ultimate creator. We were created in his image. So instantly that tells me that we were born to create and or produce. Now, let's do this. Let's bring Jesus into the equation then, because Jesus didn't have no kids. But you cannot argue me that Jesus was not productive, meaning fruitful, that he did not multiply, and he did not have no dominion. You can't tell me that Jesus, the example that we have, he embodied these three things. Embodied it, right? Productive. Probably the most productive person that ever walked this planet. Productive as all get out. From the age, soon as he got into ministry, productive. Soon as he jumped out, he didn't wait for somebody to give him the signal. He didn't wait for somebody to say, hey, Jesus, like, you can be productive now. No, he was productive from the jump. Multiplication. When we talk about multiplying, Jesus multiplied. What do you mean, Destry? How did Jesus multiply? Let's talk about the 12 disciples for a second, right? So it started with Jesus. Jesus goes out. He's spreading the message. Has these 12 disciples. We're not going to go down through the whole story of how the 12 disciples came, right? He has the 12 disciples. Instantly, Jesus has multiplied the ministry that he had. He multiplied it. He took 12 people from off the street, from doing other things, right? We already know the story. They doing other things, right? God says, come with me. Jesus says, come with me. Jesus takes them from who they were into disciples, people that were not deserving. Jesus put the things that God is into it a living. People that were not deserving, y'all. Jesus took them, filled them, and multiplied. Okay, let's jump into it. Number one, be fruitful. Like I said, producing good or helpful results, being productive. Other words, bear much fruit. And here's the thing that I really want to hit with this point. We all get a certain amount of time on this earth. None of us know when we're going to die. None of us know how long we're going to live. Like, literally, we could die today, right? None of us know. But the way that I interpret this, when God is saying be fruitful, the way that I interpret this is that there should be some evidence that you were here. There should be some evidence. All right, let me take Pastor for a moment. Just y'all may not believe what I'm saying. Let me take Pastor for a moment, right? Pastor starts in ministry at a different church. He starts in ministry, right? The seed was planted. He starts in ministry. Now we can go back into his history and understand that the ministry really started when he was a little kid, right? When he was a little kid, his grandfather put these things into him. He's in ministry at this one church. He's there for years, right? Then he goes and plants a church. Years later, he goes and plants a church. Fruitful, hear what I'm saying? And here we are right now, couple years. Right now, we're having Bible study in the same church that was planted. That's being fruitful, y'all. That's being productive. The world should know that you were here. Even if, and God forbid, even if our pastor was no longer with us, we know that he was here by the fruit that he had produced while he was here. And some of us, we look at our situation, we look at our resources, and we say, God, how can I be productive? How can I be fruitful? How can I bear fruit when my soil is rotten? Like, I was born into this. Like, I tell this story all the time. Like, I was born into poverty. Like, I didn't have a choice on that. I was born into that. I didn't have no choice. So I could easily say, God, how do you want me to be productive? How do you want me to multiply? How do you want me to have dominion when I don't even have the resources to do that? And God's saying that I am the resource. Like, I am in you. I'm that resource. I'm that resource. So if you abide in me and I in you, guess what? You can produce fruit right here on this planet. That's the very first thing that God is telling us to do. Be fruitful, produce. Now, you can say, like I said, a lot of people, they just go, they mark it down to just having kids. Cool. But like I said, let's use our example. Jesus didn't have no kids. And there's people on this planet who can't have kids. So are you telling me that they cannot be fruitful? That they're not called to be fruitful because they can't have children? No, we got to look at the principle of it, y'all. We got to go to the principle of it. So I want to show y'all this image. I'm going to put this image up here a couple of times. All right. So in Genesis, there was nothing before God spoke. Nothing. Everything looked like this, right? Just black. Everything was black. It was pitch black. Nothing. There was nothing. Fast forward to today. And listen, this ain't even America. This is Tokyo. This ain't even America. It started with nothing. There was nothing. God spoke. Let there be light. God put animals on the planet. God put humans on the planet. Then from there, God said, listen, I want you to be free. I want you to be free. I'm giving you free will. I want you to be free. All these things are yours. Don't touch that. But all these things are yours. Be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion. Be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. I started this. I got it to this point. I want you to take it from here. I want you to produce. We go from nothing to God speaking to everything. And like I said, this is the image from Tokyo. This ain't even America. There is not a place on this planet that's not productive. I looked a couple scriptures before that, right? And God told the animals the same thing. Be fruitful. He told them the same thing. The exact same thing that he told us, he told the animals. Now, here's the difference between us and the animals. We can actually think for ourselves. Animals go off of nature. Right? They go off of instinct. We have an imagination. God gave us an imagination. Right? God gave us a purpose. God gave us dreams. God gave us visions. So what we produce should be way greater. And I'm going to be all the way honest with you. As Christians, y'all, we should be the most productive people. I was talking to Pastor today, and I told him, I said, listen, this ain't no ego. This ain't none of that. I have to get like our business and our family to a place of financial freedom, not because I want a lot of money, but because there's people out here doing business who are multi-million and billionaires, and they don't care nothing about people. They don't care. Listen, they could care less. They don't care nothing about God. They don't care nothing about people. They don't care nothing about people that are poor, that are in poverty, that are none of that. And I truly believe that God's people, us, Christian people who believe in Jesus Christ, I truly believe we should be the most productive people. But most of the times we sitting on our hands. Most of the time we complacent. We get to a place that when God takes us from one place and then we get to another place and we just lay our hat there and we rest on our laurels. We chilling. We relaxing. The world going up in smoke. Coronavirus going crazy. People losing their house. People losing their stuff. And we sitting on our hands being unproductive. When the very first thing that God told us to do was to be fruitful. That was the very first thing that he told us to do. But we scared. We fearful. We complacent. We are all the opposite things that God told us to do from the jump. And I just want y'all to know, like I said last week, our church, we don't rock like that. I'm going to be honest with you. We don't rock like that at all. At this church, listen, the very first time you step in this building, you're going to be productive. That's what we don't just want members here, y'all. We want people who are going to produce, people who are going to take this command. Be fruitful. Be fruitful. If you just start with that, listen, be fruitful. Bear much fruit. I want you to produce something in this world. God has put so much inside of us, y'all. And listen, here's the thing. You already know. You already know the things that God has put inside of you. You already know. God done told you to do certain things, and you ain't done them yet. I don't know why. You're going to have to talk to God about that. I'm not trying to be in your business. Right? I don't know why. God didn't put a ministry inside of you. God didn't put a business inside of you. God didn't put the spirit to help other people inside of you. You don't even know why you're good at this stuff. Like, you just good at it. You don't even try. Like, you just gifted at it. Like, I was, once again, talking to Pastor. Me and Pastor talk a lot, all right? Listen, I was talking to Pastor, and he was like, listen, like, this, being able to speak or to preach or whatever, like, that's a gifting. Like, I didn't go to school for that. Like, that's a gifting, right? That was something that I was gifted with. Now, what if Pastor just said, you know what? I know that I'm gifted in this, but I don't really feel like doing nothing. I know God's calling me to start a church, but I don't really feel like starting no church. We're not here right now, y'all. There's people last year that's going without meals. We already planning this year. We already got some things in plan this year that we gonna outdo that this year because there's more people in need. God is saying be productive, y'all. God is saying be productive. Why? Because number one, we don't even got to go no further than this. This is what I'm trying to convey. We don't even got to go no further than this. Really, everything is right there in Genesis, right? Like when we put our sauce in the sauce, that's when things got screwed up. Like my wife, she's a beast with spaghetti, right? She's a beast with spaghetti, right? I'm talking about spaghetti is fire. But she don't make her own sauce, right? She don't make her own sauce. She buys sauce and then puts her sauce in the sauce and turns the sauce into something else, right? And that's exactly what we did. God created the sauce. We put our sauce inside of the sauce and created something that was never supposed to happen. Now we got all these different things that goes down, right? Now we got sickness. Now we got pain, right? Now we have the awareness of things that we're not supposed to have the awareness of. When the very first thing that God spoke to us was be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. All right, number two. We're gonna keep this thing moving. Multiply. What does it mean to multiply? Increase or cause to increase greatly in number or quantity. Let me say that again. Increase or cause to increase greatly in number and quantity. Okay, I want to show you. I got a little illustration, right? Check this out. I got an apple, right? I got a knife. I got an apple, I got a knife. Now, if I cut this apple open, now watch this be like a seedless apple or something. Watch this be like a seedless apple or something. Look, check this out. No seeds in this apple, but there's supposed to be seeds in this apple, right? When you crack an apple open, eat it, there's seeds in it. If you throw that seed out or you bury that seed, we all know if you plant it on the right ground and gets the right nourishment, there's an apple tree that comes from that, right? So, like I said, number one, being fruitful, that means to produce. Now, what it means to multiply, that's the byproduct of being fruitful. Let me say that again. I hope I'm not moving too fast. Be fruitful. That means bear fruit. God gave us the soil. He said, be fruitful. We got the fruit. We cracked the fruit open. We being fruitful. We plant seeds. That's the multiplication. Now you go from one apple to apple trees, right? You go from one apple to apple trees. Now, here's the crazy thing. I looked this up, and Pastor always say, get your study on, right? Get your study on. So I was studying. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. The result, I looked this up, multiplication, right? I just went deep into multiplication for some reason. Don't ask me why. The result of multiplication operation is called a product. It's not frozen. I just want it. Okay. Let me go back. The result of a multiplication operation is called a product. So check this out. God is telling us to produce, right? Be fruitful. God is telling us to produce. And then he's saying, multiply, so create more fruit. And then that fruit is going to produce. That fruit is going to produce. So what does that look like, y'all? What do you mean by multiply? Do you know how many people that you come into counter with every single week? Like I'm being dead serious. Do you know how many seeds that you're planting every single week? Even if you never see that person again, you're planting seeds. Even if you never see them again, you don't know what a smile does to a person, holding the door open for a person. These are seeds, y'all. And this is how we multiply. I've literally, like, I know some people that I've came in contact with, right? Specifically at the YMCA. There's a certain crowd that's at the YMCA, right? And anytime that I'm around anybody, I don't care if you're male, female, whatever, I hold the door open. Old, young, I don't care. If I'm ahead of you and you're behind me, I hold the door open. I've had older people come to me and say, listen, young man, like, I really, like, didn't believe in this younger generation. But, like, you being polite, you holding the door open shows me that this generation still has morals, still has values, still has respect. Now, you may say, what does that got to do with anything? That right there is multiplication. It's that simple. It does not have to be complex. There's nothing complex about it. You come in contact with people. Your fruit. You have seeds within you. Everywhere, and listen, you should be bearing so much fruit that everywhere you go, you just dropping seeds. You got a seed here. You got a seed. When I cracked an apple open at home, I had done an illustration. I promise you it had seeds in it. I practiced before I got here. This one, it had no seeds. When I cracked this joint open, there were seeds that just fell out. It's bearing so much fruit that there were seeds that just fell out of it. So if I'm just walking in the woods and these seeds are dropping, guess what? Now it multiplies. It multiplies. It increases. Some of you come in contact with people every day who are depressed, out their mind. You inviting them to church. They ain't coming. You're like, oh, man, I'm just going to stop inviting them. Keep inviting them. Keep telling them to come. Keep encouraging people. Why? Because that's going to multiply. You don't know how many students I've, by the grace of God, been able to influence, and they influence their homies. The people, okay, let me give you a real example. One student specifically, I'm not going to give you his name. He was like in between school and the streets, like literally in between. Like I didn't see him all the time. Matter of fact, he was getting arrested when I came to the school, right? When I came to the school, he was getting arrested. One of the officers stopped, the principal stopped me and said, hey, can you talk to this student? I spoke with the student, right? The next time I saw the student, I worked with this student again, right? I continued to work with this student. This student turned his whole life around. I'm not saying by me, by the grace of God. He turned his whole life around, and then the people around him turned their life around. He's telling them stuff that I told them, and guess where I got it from? I'm teaching off a biblical principle. They don't even know it. I didn't plant this seed into him. He didn't plant this seed into them, and now they're planting seeds into some of the influence that you have, you don't even realize it. It's going past you and it's going to people's kids. Me and Pastor was talking about this again. Y'all. I promise you, we are productive. We are fruitful. We don't just be talking. We was talking about this again. When you invite somebody to church, if they have a family, they're inviting their kids, right? So their kids come. Now, let's say they have a sleepover and you like, yo, we going to church. Now those kids are in the atmosphere. So you just went from one person to maybe 3 people to 6 to 9 to 12 to however many people those people affect. That's what it means to multiply. That's what it means by multiplication. So let me give you another. Let me give you another example. I just love these examples, right? I gotta give you an example. I told y'all a couple weeks back in 2013, I spent a year living with my wife's grandparents, right? We were down and out. They took us in, right? we was about to be homeless for real. They took us in, right? I stayed at their house for an entire year. And her grandfather, I call him Pawpaw, it's Elder Wells, all right? All right? I call him Pawpaw, it's Elder Wells. He ain't never, ever like just sat me down and said, Destry, these are the principles. This is how you treat a woman, and this is how you do this. He didn't say none of that. All he did is showed his example. So guess what? Now I'm treating my wife the way that he treated his wife, right? I'm treating my wife the way that he treated his wife. My son sees it, and then he's going to, that's multiplication, y'all. Okay, let me give you another example. Pastor of this church, right? When I came here, y'all, I was a little bit more ratchet than I am right now. I'm just going to be honest, right? I'm already ratchet. I was a little bit more ratchet than I am right at this moment, right? I got here. I didn't have no purpose at this church. I just was coming to the church. My wife is his cousin. We was coming to the church. Me and him, we had a cool relationship, not like we do now. Cool relationship, right? I come to church. He says, Destry, can you hit the start button on this iPad back here so we could do the live video, right? Can you put the start button right there so we can do the live video? Cool. Somehow, that one moment turned into 2 years, and now I'm standing up here doing some of the things that I saw him do, some of the things that he taught me before I even ever thought. I never said, Pastor, I just can't wait for the opportunity to do Bible study. That never happened. But because he was bearing fruit, I hope y'all getting this. Because he was bearing fruit, that fruit got planted into my soil, and now I'm right here teaching the way that I saw him teach. Now, I don't teach like Pastor. Now, I'm not trying to say that. But I'm saying because of the fruit that he bared, and because I was available soil, now that's a whole nother thing. Because sometimes, and I'm trying to, this is happening in real time, right? Sometimes the fruit don't even start with you. Like, it don't even start with you. Yes, God gave you a gift. Yes, but sometimes it just comes with you being available soil. Sometimes it just comes from you just being available soil. That's it. There were people who poured into my life when I had nothing to give. Nothing to give. And because of the fruit that they poured in me, the seed that they gave me, multiplication, I was able then to move on and become a better person because of them. So sometimes you just got to be available soil. Sometimes we think too deep. Sometimes we think, well, God, how can I be fruitful? How can I be productive? Sometimes being productive is being on time, in the right place, that's all, and being available. Sometimes it's just waking up and saying, God, I'm available. Please use me. Okay, boom. You're available soil. I got you. I got you. Don't even worry about it. Now, I told y'all last week, some of us, we know what our gifts are. We don't like our gifts. We want somebody else's gift. And that's a part of the problem as well. Because you don't think that the fruit that God gave you is good enough. You don't think it's good enough. You wanted a mango, God gave you an apple. You wanted some grapes, God gave you a coconut. But every single fruit has its own nutrients. Listen to what I'm saying. And it has its own benefits. So when I go, when I go on a workout, when I go run, I eat certain fruit for a run. When I lift, I eat certain fruits for a lift. So before I run, I'll drink coconut water. Why? Because it has electrolytes. I drink coconut water. Why? Because it has potassium. I eat citrus fruit before a run. Why? Because it's lightweight and it gives you a jolt of energy instantly. Listen to what I'm saying. Some of you are looking at the fact that you're not this fruit and you don't fit into this purpose. But because of the fruit that's within you produces a different purpose, and you're used for a different thing. You want to be the person on front of the camera. I get it. You want to be that person. I get it. But God may be calling you to be like the strawberry. Which one you say? What do you mean like the strawberry? The strawberry don't got a whole bunch of calories in it. Strawberries, if you're on a diet, berries are like the best thing to eat because they're not calorie dense. They're fiber, right? They're fibrous. So they make you feel full. Hear what I'm saying, y'all. I hope somebody is getting it. Listen, if you're getting this, please smash the like button. Let me know you alive right now, please. Let me feel you real quick. I need to know. Somebody smash the like button. I need to know. So just because your fruit don't look like somebody else's fruit doesn't mean that your fruit don't got a purpose. Just because your fruit don't fit into this box don't mean your fruit don't got a purpose. Maybe God's not calling you to run a church. Maybe God wants you out on the street. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe God don't want you to teach out of school. Maybe God wants you to start a school. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means for you. All I know is that every fruit has its own purpose. And all of us were called to be fruitful, not just some of us. And that's a problem. That's a problem that we run into. If all of us were productive, y'all, if all of us was productive, just think about the condition of this world. If just all of us Christians, let me put it like that. Just all of us Christians, if we were all fruitful, if we all multiplied, if we all had dominion, just think of the condition of this world, y'all. Maybe listen, I know we went through a wild, crazy 4 years, a couple years, like I know we went through a while, but what if that was a God-fearing person, a God-fearing man, a God-fearing woman? What if it was that? What if it was a person that knew these principles? I'm gonna be fruitful, I'm gonna multiply, I'm gonna have the what if that was the product that we got? What if that was the leadership that we got? But as Christians, sometimes we just like, you know what, I can't even. Meanwhile, the few Christians with the least resources are doing the most. Right? The ones with the least resources, the ones with the least hands are doing the most. They doing this, wearing multiple hats. When your fruit could come into the equation and help multiply even more. Listen, y'all, I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see this. This is God's math. I just want y'all to see this. You got fruit, and then you got multiplication. So this automatically don't even make sense. Let me just tell you that. Like, if you showed this to your math teacher, they would be like, okay, bro, this don't make no sense, right? You got fruit plus multiplication equals multiple fruit, right? You got fruit, got multiplication, and then you have multiple fruit that came from that one fruit. You got multiple fruits. You got multiple things being affected by one choice. You don't even understand how much one choice that you make affects the world, right? Just one choice that you make. You may say, well, my life ain't that significant. Like, I don't matter that much, right? Like I'm just a cog in the machine. You may think that, right? You may think that, but you don't know what you're producing in a child that will go out there and become something one day. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know just by showing up every day at that daycare or at that job who you're pouring into just by being you, not even saying nothing, just by seeing the role models. There are people that were in the community that were role models that never spoke to me, but I said, I want to be like that man. That man got integrity. That man got character. I want to be like him. I don't know what's inside of him. I don't know if I don't know nothing, but I want to be like that guy. Him right there. I want to be like him. You don't even know what you're affecting. But just by you being fruitful, God will take those seeds and plant them in other people, in other soil. Number 3, have dominion, power or control. Okay, this one's beautiful. Man, God is so good. Let's check this out. God gave us all, right? Except for one thing. God gave us all, right? He said, listen, you can have all this. Be fruitful, multiply, have dominion. You can have all this. All of this is yours. All of this is yours. But I need you, even though I gave you free will, I need you to have control. I need you to have control. Now, there's different ways that we can have control, right? We got self-control. We got control over the things in our lives. But God started us off with, hey, you're free. Be free. Be fruitful. Multiply. Have dominion. Be productive. Increase. Have control. Walk in your power. So we go back to last week. When Moses is literally lacking confidence, God is telling Moses to go holler at Pharaoh, right? And Pharaoh trying to kill everybody, right? He sends Moses, hey, go holler at Pharaoh. Who should I say sent me? I am. And I can just imagine Moses saying, okay, I am. I am that I am. Tell him I sent you. I'm giving you my power. Right? I'm giving you my power. Now, here's the crazy thing. I don't know if I said this last week or not. Can you imagine Moses, 80 years old? They said he had a stuttering problem, right? Or some type of speech impediment. Can you imagine him going in front of Pharaoh like, who sent you? I am. Right? Like who sent you? Moses sitting there 80 years old. I don't know if he was Hunt. I don't know. Right? Can you imagine him going in front of Pharaoh saying that? Now, looking on the outside, Pharaoh's probably like, okay, man, listen. He don't even know that God has given him the power. Right? He don't even know. Now, fast forward, because you're saying that's old time, that's Old Testament, all that stuff. Fast forward, I told you, when Jesus died on the cross and said it's finished, that same power was transferred over to us through the Holy Spirit. So God is saying, from the beginning, God was saying, listen, I'm giving you my power. I'm giving you my power. So that way you can control the things that I put into your life, starting with you. Some of us have absolutely no self-control, no discipline whatsoever. And listen, I was there, right? I was there. I didn't wake up at a certain time. I didn't care about my health at a certain point in my life. I honestly just got on this path of real health maybe the last 3 years. I didn't care about none of that. I had no self-control. I'm eating chocolate when I want to eat it. I'm eating candy when I want to eat it. I'm eating donuts. Where we at? We at Longs. There's a Longs out south. There's a Longs out west. Listen, I'm getting Longs when I want to get Longs. That's how I used to feel until I started looking at this principle. And God is saying, have control. Why? Because I can't be fruitful if I'm tired all the time. I can't be fruitful if I'm lethargic. I can't be fruitful if I can't think properly because of what I'm putting into my system. So I have to have control and walk in the power that God has given me and say, you know what? Certain things just ain't for me because God created me to be fruitful, to multiply. And I can't do that if I can't function well. I can't help the church if I'm in the hospital because I'm not eating properly and now I'm sick. I'm just being honest with you. I can't do it. Right? This thing takes stamina, y'all. It takes endurance. So we got to exercise self-control. There was a point in my life where I had to learn self-control when it came down to sex. Sexual desires. It runs rampant a lot of times in men, especially if that man did not grow up with a father to teach him about those things. So I'm running rampant anytime I want to feel, and listen, we are addicted to pleasure, y'all. We are addicted to pleasure as people. We're addicted to it. I'm addicted to it. We addicted to it. So anytime I felt the urge, I just go, okay, I can go scratch that itch anytime. But God was saying, listen, I gave you dominion and you acting like I never gave it to you. You can have self-control. Now, check this out. Sometimes we got to ask God to help. We got to ask God to help. I'm going to be all the way real with y'all. About a year ago, I want to say a year ago, maybe a half ago, I don't know if I was addicted to it. I can't say I was addicted to it. But I was watching porn. I'm just going to be honest with you. That I'm just being all the way real. No self-control whatsoever. For whatever reason, I'm married. I'm still doing these things. I'm just being real with you. I'm being all the way honest with you. I'm not perfect. I was watching porn. I literally had to ask God, help. Because if it's up to me, now I'm not doing it every day, but it's up to me when I feel that urge, then I'm just going to go to that site. That's how I'm just going to go to that site. I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm going to exercise zero control. And God is saying, listen, if you need self-control, I can help you with that. Just ask. Just ask God for control. Just ask. So I used to have a problem with just a woman pat. Oh, so now I got to look over there. Oh, I'm a married man. I'm a married man. A woman walking the room. Now, I'm not noticeably doing it, but I'm like, oh, in the back of my mind. Now, some of you guys, you may act like it don't happen. Listen, I'm not going to call you out, right? I had no self-control, y'all. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I had none. There was no self-control within me, y'all. But God gave me dominion way back in the garden. God gave me dominion way back in Genesis. And here we are in 2019, I don't know, 2019, and I'm not exercising none of it. I lack self-control. I lacked it. I'm saying that to say that God can change those behaviors. If you lack self-control, God can help you with those things. If you don't understand what God is calling you to do to be productive, guess what? You can ask God for that too. There's nothing we can't ask God for. Right? There's nothing that we can't ask God for. If you're struggling with this and you're saying, God, I want to be fruitful, I want to multiply, I want to have dominion, but God, show me because I don't know. Now, some of us won't be honest and say that we lack control. Some of us won't be honest. Some of us won't be that real. I'm just being real with y'all. Just because we family. I lacked it. And I'm telling you from examples, from real life example, that if you need help in any area, God can help you in that area, no matter what the area is, y'all. No matter what it is. So listen, y'all, we about to get out of here. I just want y'all to understand those three things. God called us to be fruitful. That means be productive. Be productive. God told us to multiply. That means increase. Everywhere you go, they should be able to tell, oh, that person bears fruit. And you don't got to even say nothing by the way that you carry yourself. Like, okay, when I was in the military, they had this thing called command presence, right? You just knew, and they don't have to have their rank on, none of that. You just knew who was who by the way that they carried themselves. You just knew. Like when they walk in the room, like there were certain times where an officer will walk in the room, a commander will walk in the room, a general will walk in the room. Let's say you can't even see their insignia, you can't see none of their rank. The whole room stands up. Maybe not even seen them before. But somebody knows by the way this person carries themselves, by the way they walk, by the way they move, by the respect that other people are showing. They know that this person has what's called command presence. So we should be able to tell our fruit. The people should be able to tell our fruit without even saying nothing. And that ain't flaunting, and that ain't saying like walking around with like in cockiness and ego. We're not saying that. We're not saying that. What I'm saying is people know who the producers are. But we consume, like, listen, we've switched the whole thing up. We went from production, from be fruitful to consumption. Just consume. We consume all day long. And I gotta watch this. If you got an iPhone, your iPhone will break it down to you, and you can't even refute it. It'll tell you, listen, you consume too much. You've been on YouTube too much. You've been on Instagram too much. You're consuming too much. Now, I'm just telling you to offset that consumption with productivity. That's all I'm saying. Offset that consumption with productivity, because God is calling us to be productive, y'all, and to multiply. There's some people who will never encounter God if they don't encounter you. Right? When they run into you, you may be the only person that ever in their life, I promise you this is real, you may be the only person who can ever get that person to even think about church or think about God. Like, you might be the only person. So when we talk about being fruitful, let's not overcomplicate it. Let's make it very simple, very plain. Being fruitful is very plain. It's walking around in good spirit. Why? Because that's the spirit that's within you. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to have bad days. We all have them. I'm not saying that. But if 80% of your days are bad, there's something wrong. If 60% of your days there's something wrong. If 50, it's just something wrong. We should be the light of the earth, y'all. We should be the light. We should literally be the example. Like I told you, there's people out here producing that don't care nothing about God or his people. They don't care nothing about it. Nothing. They could care less. And they winning. Listen to what I'm saying. They are winning. And we sitting back like, well, when Jesus come, We gonna go to that place. We gonna be in heaven. Like, I get it. I get it. I can't wait. I can't wait for that day too. But while we're here, let's be productive, y'all. While we're here, let's multiply, y'all. While we're here, let's have power. Let's have dominion. Let's have control. While we're here, because these are the things that God's called us to do. We don't know when we're gonna die. We don't know when Jesus is coming back. We don't know none of that. Only thing that we know is that God gave us this before anything else. This was the very first thing that God told us. The very first thing God told humanity. The very first thing. Before we got to the 10 Commandments, we only got there, like I said, because we was bending the boundaries, breaking the rules, and going nuts. Right? So now we got to get the rules. Now we got to get the regulations. Now we got to get we got to get the flood. We got to get all these other things that happen because of human nature. But God intended it to be this way. This is the way God intended it to be. This is the way that God intended to be. Listen, y'all, I appreciate y'all for rocking with us for these last 4 weeks. I promise you, Pastor will be back next week. And I wish I had some applause right now. And we gonna be live and in action next week, October 6th. Come to the church, y'all. Come to the church. We want to see your face. Hold on. Let me put the address. We live and in action next week. What is that? October 6th? October 6th? Let me see. Hold on. Yes, October 6th. Wednesday, October 6th, 7 p.m. You could come right to the church. The address is at the bottom. Come through. We want to see your face. Like I said, Pastor is back. He didn't went to Ghana. He didn't got a new name, right? He didn't came back, and now he's ready to rock. Listen, y'all, don't miss out. Please don't miss out. Please don't miss out on what's to come these next couple weeks. Tune in next Sunday, or this Sunday. I'm sorry, this Sunday. Pastor's back as well for that. Hold up. Whoa. Where I'm at? What? Okay, I am back. Let me know if you can hear me. I don't know what happened. My computer just totally shut down. Let me know. I don't even know where I was at. My whole computer just shut down. Let me know if you can hear me real quick as we close out. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me as we close this thing out. Okay, you're good. Okay, so this Sunday, don't forget to tune in 10 p.m., y'all. 10 p.m. But listen, you know what would be better? Don't even tune in. Just come. Just come on to the church, y'all. Just come to the church. Just come to church. We want to love on you, right? We know it's COVID, so we're gonna love on you from a distance, right? We're gonna be a couple feet away. We're gonna love on you from a distance, but we want to see your face. Bring your kids. We got a kids room back here. So you ain't got to be distracted. You can let the kids, I promise you, they fine, right? They gonna draw, they gonna learn a little bit, they gonna run around, they gonna do their thing while you can sit here and be a part of the worship experience. So we'll love to see y'all. Also, if you want to join this family, y'all, I told y'all last week on a serious note, like being a part of this church has been life-changing for me, right? I can only speak from experience. It's been life-changing for me as far as spiritual development goes, as far as personal development goes. I've grown as a husband. I've grown as a man. I've grown as an entrepreneur, right? I've grown. Right, I've grown being here. Now, matter of fact, for those of you who've been rocking with the squad, go ahead and drop an I if you have gotten any type of value from being a part of this family right here. I just need you to drop an I in the chat. Let the people know, right? Let the people know that I'm not playing. Right, when you become a part of this family, right here, I promise you. You're going to get closer to what your purpose is, your gifts. We got plenty of stuff for you to get involved in. Plenty, right? Plenty of stuff. You ain't going to come here and just be another cog in the machine. No, you're going to be an active member of this thing because we building. Like, we're a startup. We're a startup church. I don't know if y'all know that. We're a startup. So there's so much opportunity here for you, for your children, for the people, whoever you bring. Listen. They have a purpose here. We about to go crazy this fourth quarter as far as what we're doing in the community and as a church. So we would love to have you as part of our family. If you want to be a part of the family, text family to 317-520-1892 or go to the website to become a member. Now, here's the most important. Well, hold on. We got prayer first. Okay, if you need prayer, I'm still new at this, y'all. Help me. Hey, Lord, help. If you need prayer, text 317, same number, 520-1892. The prayer team, I promise, just send a text right now. Just send them a text. Like, don't even, just send them a text. I guarantee you get a text right back. Like, that's how quick and it ain't no bot. It ain't automated. It's real people. It's our prayer team. Shout out to our prayer team because they work very hard at what they do. Anytime you need prayer, anytime, 10 a.m., 10 at night, 12 a.m., listen, I'm just discouraged right now. I have nobody to talk to. Text a prayer line. Text a prayer line. And they will pray with you. Or they'll just converse with you about Christ, about things getting, I don't know. Don't give me the line. But listen, the prayer team is standing by, right? The prayer team is standing by. Text if you need prayer for anything, a family member, a friend, whatever you need prayer for, text the prayer, press the prayer line. The most important thing, y'all, text salvation, right? If you want a relationship with Christ, God wants a relationship with you. I told you, I didn't always have a relationship with God. I didn't always have one. Now, like I said, I knew religion. I didn't have a relationship. And I prayed a simple prayer. God, listen, I don't know. I know what my mom told me. I know what my church told me. I know these things, but I want to know you for myself. I don't know if you're out there. I don't know why you put me here. I don't know anything. But God, I want to know you. Show me your way. Show me your face. Grab my hand. Take me on the walk, God. And I promise you, if you just create that space, God will show you the truth. Text salvation to the prayer line, y'all. I promise you, we'll walk you right through the steps of salvation, y'all. It's the most important, and you don't got time. Listen, I know that we think we got time, and I know that we don't know, like I said, when our time is, but we do not have time, y'all. We got time, but we don't got time. We don't know when that time is. Like, the opportunity is here right now. So text salvation. Don't play with it. If God is pulling on your strings, if you were just in the vicinity of this message right now and God is pulling you, text 317-520-1892 and we'll walk you through the plan of salvation. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Once again, I want to thank our pastor. I want to thank our first lady for even trusting me with their platform, with this platform that God has given them, right? Trusting me with this fruit that God has given them. Right? Each and every one of you who've been tuning in every single week, I want to thank y'all as well. Y'all have helped me grow on my spiritual walk these last 4 weeks. I've had to dig deeper than I've ever dug before. So it's all been worth it, y'all. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't forget Sunday, 10 a.m. I love y'all, and I will see y'all hopefully here on Sunday. Peace.